Welcome back to Under the Lights with Nikki P. Thank you all for joining me. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. It's all for free. So we got Shakur Stevenson fighting William Zepeda coming up soon. And I went down the rabbit hole of Shakur Stevenson's fights to prepare for this video. And never has my opinion changed so much in a couple of hours than watching his fights. So I've never been a huge fan of Shakur Stevenson as far as like following his every move, watching all of his fights in their entireties. I'm aware of him. I know his skill level is super high. I've watched a lot of highlights. He's always been kind of in the periphery for me. I've always followed like Teofimo Lopez, Gervonta Tank Davis, all those guys. I like a lot of action in my fights in general. I love the purity of the sport, don't get me wrong. I like seeing a high skill level, but he was never a guy that directly appealed to my sensibilities when it came to fighting. So I felt like I owed it to him to at least go back and watch some fights in their entirety to really see what's going on with him. So when I first started watching his fights, I started with his most recent, the Josh Padley fight. I was impressed. I mean, obviously his skill level is super high. His timing is incredible. His speed is on point. His pot shotting, his counter punching, the guy makes almost no mistakes. His feinting, he controls his opponents with his reactions. It's wild to see. It's very clear that he's arguably the most talented guy in the sport right now. He's way up there. Way up there. So I was happy to see it. And I mean, he did what he had to do. He fought a fairly tight fight. He put him out with some nice body shots in the later rounds. I thought he did his job very well. So I watched that fight. I'm like, what's everyone talking about? Like, why is he so boring for people to watch? I mean, I kind of got the sense about halfway through that fight that he was in such control that the action was really never there. It almost became hypnotic because you knew how every round was going to look. But he did start walking him down and turning it on and doing a little bit of damage. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. That's a fair game fight. So then I watched his fight with Oscar Valdez. Another good fight. Stood in front of the guy, let his hands go when he needed to. Oscar Valdez was coming in, giving him stuff to work with. And, he was pot-shotting him, picking him off. Looked good to me as well. And then I watched his last fight with Artem. Can't pronounce his last name. Again, he doesn't really take any risks. He's never in any real danger. I mean, that much is very obvious. The guys that he's fighting, he's twice the size of for the most part. And they really have nothing to bring to him that he can't deal with. So he's never in any real fight. And that's when it started to kind of click for me a little bit. I'm like, okay, like, I kind of see it. I see it a little bit. Like, why don't you go out there and go get the guy? The guy has nothing to offer you. There's nothing he could do to you. And you're still just going to hang back and wait for them to come to you and give them what you need to have a perfectly clean fight and not get into any scuffles or just any type of like deep water whatsoever to make it interesting for the fans. And I mean, I understand everyone's side of the argument. I understand Shakur Stevenson's side. He doesn't have to fight in any way that he doesn't want to. It's his body, it's his life, it's his career. He's the one that steps in the ring and he's allowed to fight however he wants and he doesn't care what the fans think. Fine. But on the other hand of that, we are spending our money, our entertainment dollar to watch something that we want to be entertained by. And if we don't find it entertaining, it's our right to not spend the money on the fight and we can have our criticisms just the same. So there is no right and wrong opinion here. Everyone's justified. The people that love Shakur Stevenson, his fan base, I absolutely understand where they're coming from. I mean, the guy is incredible, so I get it. And you're like, oh, what's he supposed to do? It's the other fighter's job to go and get him. It's not his job to give up the rounds and blah, blah, blah. All that is completely fair and completely justified. But it's also justifiable to see like, hey, we want a little bit of action. So I went from not really knowing all that much about him as far as watching his whole fights throughout. And then when I did, I had an up opinion about him. I was really high on him for a minute. And then I watched the Edwin Los Santos fight. And that's when it hit me. Oh my God. That was brutal, man. I mean, I don't think Shakur Stevenson has a nickname, but I started calling him Shakur Lullaby Stevenson. The amount of ducking, dodging, running, and hopping back that he did in that fight was embarrassing, quite frankly. I mean, I get it. You don't want to get hit. You're trying to reset your guy. But every time the guy even flinched, I mean, he's hopping halfway across the ring to avoid it, running laterally, ducking. He might as well have just been full-on Tom Cruise sprinting across the ring. It was brutal, man. That was brutal. And that's when I realized what it really was that we're all like kind of seeing in Shakur Stevenson that we're not liking. He doesn't have heart. He doesn't have a fighting spirit. He's a virtuoso boxer. His skill level is elite. He's on point, but he's not a true fighter. And that's the part of the sport that we all love. I understand the goal of boxing is to hit and not get hit, but on a fan base side of it, the true classics are the ones where there are wars. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 1, 2, and 3. Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. I mean, you can name a million fights. I don't even have to go down this list. You all get where I'm coming from. I don't mind that you're that good of a fighter. Floyd Mayweather was that good of a boxer, but he also came and got you. He put his hands on you. If you weren't doing anything, he was going to come and beat you up. He didn't just play it safe the entire fight, even though he couldn't just wait for you all night long, pick you off and wait for the 12th round to end so the bell would ring. He can collect his decision and ride off into the sunset. I mean, he made you look stupid in there if you didn't know what you were doing. And that's the thing that I think that we want to see from Shakur Stevenson. If you're fighting guys that are half your size, that don't have the skill level that you have, that don't have the hand speed, that don't have anything to even really threaten you with, and you don't go in there and at least try to get them out of there or try to put on at least a little bit of show for the fans, you're not going to really make all that much money. And I mean, again, it's his right to fight that way if he wants to. I'm not even dogging the kid. I understand and recognize that he's a threat to anyone he gets in the ring with as far as them losing the decision goes. And quite frankly, I'll even say this about Shakur Stevenson. I think he has more pop than people give him credit for. He's not as nerf-fisted as Devin Haney. I mean, he does damage. He hurts people to the body. He lands flush. These guys' faces are all marked up by the end of the fight. Does he have explosive power like Gervonta? Of course not. But I mean, the kid does have some pop. That's why guys don't just rush in and just try to like take him down more or less. So this is where we come to now with the Zepeda fight. I could see this fight going a million different directions. Obviously, my primary outlook is going to be that he's going to, shut him down with the timing, the feinting, the rhythm, the pot shotting, and just his excellent skill set in general, his footwork, his ring generalship and all that. And he'll probably end up making it a boring fight. But this is the first time he's fighting a guy who's a pressure fighter, who throws 100 punches around, and who's actually a bigger guy than what he's used to being in there with, aside from like Jamel Herring. So I don't think Zepeda is going to be really too fazed by the fact that Shakur's trying to time him and find his shots. I think he's just going to walk in behind his jab, throwing a trillion punches, try to get inside and just let his hands go. And this is really where the test is going to be. I'm not saying that Shakur Stevenson should get in there and have an inside war with this guy. You don't want to fight your opponent's fight ever. But if you really want to show the fans that you're more than just the guy who runs around and just tries to get points, you might as well just turn to fencing at that point in time, because this is a combat sport at the end of the day. I know it's boxing, hit and don't get hit, but it's a combat sport. It's a gladiatorial sport. So, I mean, show the fans that you have it in you to at least want to get into a fight. I mean, he complains about everybody ducking him, but they're ducking him the way that he ducks getting into a fight at all. So, I mean, which is the worst sin? Of course, no one's going to want to fight the guy. Do you really want to be in a snooze fest with Shakur Stevenson for 12 rounds so he could pick up another easy victory and ride off into the sunset and not raise your stock in any way, shape, or form? I mean, no. Who wants to do that? And a lot of fighters actually do like to fight. So, I mean, that's like, it's not a fun one. That's like what Canelo said after the Skull fight. He was like, I don't like fighting guys like that. Canelo enjoys fighting. He wants you to come and give him a good go. He actually wants to get in there and do his job. He doesn't want to be chasing you all night long and hitting ghosts. It's ridiculous. And I mean, I get it. Like, he's winning that way, and it's the other opponent's job to take that away from him. But again, we as the fans don't have to care. And that's really as far as that goes. So I could see Zepeda, if Shakur Stevenson can't tie him up and neutralize him and just get out of the way all the time and keep him at bay, I could see Zepeda winning that fight on a points decision. I don't think he has enough power either to really hurt him or knock him out. Nothing's impossible. He does a lot of great body work. And I mean, his hands, he's throwing 1,000 punches a fight. So I mean, at some point, one of those can be the one that hurts you. It's not impossible at all. But again, I just see Shakur Stevenson doing his thing and just kind of, pot shotting him and shutting him down more or less. But I don't know for sure though. So I'm interested in this fight. Would I pay for it? No, I'll watch it after it comes out for free on YouTube, because Turki Al-Ashik's been a gangster and just uploading things 10 minutes after they're finished. So I'm not going to pay for it. And I'm not going to invest in being the Shakur Stevenson fan until he shows me that there is a bit of an X factor. There is going to be some excitement, and I'm going to get entertained for my entertainment dollar. I'll say that. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Shakur Lullaby Stevenson versus William Zepeda. Do you think it's going to be a banger? Do you think Shakur Stevenson's going to do what he always does and shuts these guys down? I mean, I'd like to see him keep moving up the ranks so he's starting to fight more and more high-quality, elite-level talent. I would like to see that. Because once you get up to those guys are there for a reason. The cream rises to the top. They're more gritty. They have more solid chins. They have more attributes. They have more physical gifts, speed, power. They're good counter punchers. There's something about them that got them up to the contender level. Even if they're not like the generational talents of like a Teofimo Lopez. There's guys out there that are solid fighters that could give him some work. And here's the thing about Shakur Stevenson. No matter how polished and refined his skill set is, we want to see what makes the man the man. We want to see him get into different situations, see how he handles it, see him face adversity, see him overcome that. The glorious things about boxing that we love so much. What does he do when he is pressed? What does he do when he is challenged? What does he do when a guy's in his face? Does he fight back? Does he run away? Does he give up? Does he clench all night long? Who are we watching here? Who are we supporting? And I hope Williams Zepeda could bring that out of him. I really do. So, I mean, I think that Shakur Stevenson, even if he doesn't make a lot of money boxing, he has a career in selling his fights to professional hypnotists to help put their clients under and maybe put them in that theta state so they can get them to quit smoking. Watch the Shakur Stevenson fight. You'll be out in no time. So, I mean, there's that. But at the end of the day, he can get mad all he wants that the fans are booing him and no one really wants to watch his fights. But we don't have to like you just because you're good. We want to see some excitement and some action. And we want to see a warrior step into that ring. So don't fight like a coward, man. We know you're good. But are you a coward? You could be a really good coward. You could be a super, super good coward. That's fine. I mean, he's athletic. You know what I mean? He's got crazy reaction times. His reflexes are off the charts. So if you're that gifted and, you know what I mean, you have the ability to fight like a coward and win, you could do that. But is that really what you want your legacy to be? I'm not saying to be irresponsible or frivolous or just let people beat you down. Absolutely not. And I mean, if you go in there and you start trying to make it a fight and the guy starts winning, fighting his way, I mean, go back to that if that's what you need to pull off the W. But just give people a flash that you have that in you. That's why we like Terrence Crawford. That's why we like Jaron Boots Enos. That's why we like Teofimo Lopez. And, you know what I mean? Like they even Gervonta Davis, like, you know, he's got that dog in him. He didn't really show it too much against, what's his face? What was that dude's name? Oh, Roach. Yeah. He didn't really show it too much against Roach. He kind of showed a diva side of him more or less. But normally he gets in there and he finds a way to win. And I think he'll do that in the rematch as well. So I'm not putting down Gervonta too much on that. It wasn't a good look, but he has a chance to get it back. But again, so I would like to hear from both sides. I would like to hear from the Stevenson fans. Is the argument just that he's such a good polished boxer and that you're just such a like a huge fan of the sport, that you're like a connoisseur of boxing and you just see all the little things he does in there and that impresses you? Because I'm not gonna lie, that did impress me. Like, I'm a boxing fanatic. I love the sweet science. So I mean, his little feints, you know, putting his hand out there, you can see in his eyes he's watching every little micro movement. He's ready for anything. His tiny little adjustments, parries, you know what I mean, catching people right on the chin even when they're ducking, his footwork, little half step backs, all that is brilliant. But you got to mix that in with also having the heart of a real champion too. So that's what I want to see. Again, what do you guys think? The guys that don't like Shakur Stevenson, do you just think that, you know, it's just always going to be this way, that he just runs? Do you think, you know, he has a responsibility to the fans to make it a fight? I think that if you're looking at it from the standpoint of being a boxer and an entertainer, then yeah, you do have a responsibility to the fans to at least go out there and try your best to make it a show. But if you're just there for yourself and you're just there to pick up a check and you don't care if you ever reach the heights of legendary status, if you will, then go out there and, you know, box your little heart out, play pity pat, use your Nerf fist, and get the decision. But I actually think that Shakur Stevenson, if he pressed a little harder, because like I said, I think he has more pop than people give him credit for, because he lands so flush and he's so sharp and he catches you off guard and he lands so clean, that makes up for a lot of natural concussive power that he doesn't have. I mean, he can flash knock down almost anyone with those shots, and he does great body work. Invest in the body. So I'd like to see him walking on. Remember, like when Floyd would be getting pressed, he's got that shoulder roll up, he'd catch a couple of shots, maybe he'd get picked off a little bit, and he'd just give you the head shake, but then he would start walking you down, pummel you, over the shoulder, pummel you, come underneath, pummel you, hook. Look what he did to Juan Manuel Marquez, right? Like, huge left hand, boom, right hand over the top, boom, ducks underneath, boom, he just keeps cracking you. He doesn't always wait for you to give him something, for him to do something to you. And I just feel like Shakur Stevenson only puts his foot on the gas at all when he is 1,000% sure that his opponent has nothing to offer him and cannot threaten him in any way, shape, or form. He's just beating these guys up. So, again, put your opinion in the comments. Let me know what you think. This has been another episode of Under the Lights with Nicky Pringles. God bless and peace. Caw-caw.